welcome back to another episode of Single in the City. I am your host, Tiara Berry. Here with you are my lovely hosts, Justin Gilbert,
Hey.
Genesis Moore.
Hi.
How's it going, guys?
Oh,
Going good.
it's fantastically well.
Excited
It's a
to
great day.
be with you guys.
Always.
We are going to get right into episode 5. Can you believe we're on episode 5 already?
Happens fast, right?
Yeah. I've been learning a lot. What about you guys?
Same,
lot.
Same. These episodes have been very didactic,
Didactic. Word of the day.
Okay, we got vocabulary
Didactic.
and whatnot.
causing us to grow.
Okay.
Yes.
Single in the city and getting
and
smarter. I love
growing.
it.
Right. Growing
Come
as
on,
we're
vocab.
single in the city. So we're gonna get straight into it with our first segment, and that is asking for a friend. And y'all, my friend has a question that I just couldn't answer myself. So, guys and girls out there, my friend wants to know: do you believe there's one special person for everyone, or do we create that special bond with individuals of our choosing?
Sound like your friend is in an entanglement.
Tangled.
But
Ooh,
let's go with it.
interesting. Is there like multiple choice or?
I mean-
how do you? That's an interesting question.
multiple choice. Is there one person? So, I mean, can there be multiple choices if there's just one person for you?
C. I'm gonna go with C.
You know, I think that there is like this one special person that's ordained for us.
Mm-hmm.
However, I think that sometimes our habits in dating may cause us to not be in tune or sensitive to when we're encountering that person, possibly. Very interesting question there. It's got my mind going.
Oh, I like that. I actually agree. I think I've seen it go both ways. And I think sometimes with people, there is a ordained way to do things. And I am a personal believer of what God has for you is for you.
Right.
So if God has a person for you or a mate for you to take you through different phases of your life, I do believe that he's going to send that person and put that person in your life. And that can grow with you throughout any season, whether any storm with you. But I do think that there are some times where I've seen it. People can get sometimes a little impatient, or just based on where they are in their life and their season at the time, they choose to make it work with that person that they are currently with.
Well, I mean, but every relationship kind of does need work, right? Like we work to make our relationships work. I think romantically, platonically, even with friends, we have to give to anyone that we want to be with. So is that creating a bond? Like, do we create and nurture and more so curate it? I'm trying to ask, versus it's just there.
That's a great way of looking at it, because
that is big.
when we do think about building relationships, even professionally, it comes from consistent delivery
Effort.
on promises and effort.
Right.
And, you know what I'm saying, doing the things that, like your track record, and being very cognizant of your actions and handling them a certain way. So, yeah, that does foster the types of lifelong bonds that we would really want to see in our romantic relationships as well, you know?
I think the bigger question here may be, do we give effort because someone is special, or is someone special because we put in effort?
This is
A very
deep.
Drake
I don't know how to answer that, y'all. I'm just here to
I wasn't
ask.
hiding the world from my son. I was hiding my son from the world. But I love it. I'll say this, though. I think just as far as like with relationships and how you create bonds with people, I do think that what we think becomes our reality.
Right.
And sometimes we can outthink, or our minds are so powerful, we can get into situations with people and be like, wow, this is exactly what I wanted. But that might not be, just in my opinion, the person that God ordained for you to be with. And I think sometimes if it doesn't make sense from like a money level or a power level or a status level, some people aren't into it just because they've created this life within themselves from their mind for themselves personally. But if God has ordained somebody to be in your life, doesn't always mean that they might not come in the package that you necessarily want them
Right.
to come in.
Very true.
And I do think people can shun those folks and maybe not be as sensitive to that environment, that truth, you know, and then get into relationships and put the effort in with people and kind of grow with people that might not necessarily be the ones that they're supposed to be with.
Very good.
So should we fall in love with the project?
You know,
With a project, what do you mean? You gotta explain
Project,
that.
something you gotta help mold, fix,
You mean like the
get
ones
where
with
it's
issues?
going. I mean, all around. It's that sounds like a project to
well,
me.
there's going to be a bit of a project with anyone because you're two whole folks. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Trying to combine lives. Like,
Right.
there's something to that. Like, when you were speaking, I just couldn't help but think about how many of us actually enter relationships or walk into marriage for something like personal fulfillment, reasons of personal fulfillment versus divine assignment.
Yeah.
And really thinking about who's gonna help me, you know what I'm saying?
It's a check mark.
Who's gonna walk with me into like doing what God has designed me to do? Who's really tapped into me and my purpose and wants to really undergird that and support me as I support them, and we're both doing things to honor God and to really fulfill our
Right.
purpose here.
Well, I 1000% agree with that because I think everybody has purpose. And I
Indeed.
think everybody's purpose sometimes are different, but if you're with someone, they should still be aligned.
Indeed.
Right?
Yes.
And that alignment has to come through you having your relationship with God, that person having their relationship with God.
Right.
You know? And then so when you come together, there are certain things that you can, you know, help each other out in. It might not be like I might not help you with your business all the time, but I might help you personality-wise or something. That helps you in your business altogether, you know?
Okay. I see it.
Or I might be, you know, like I always say this about my mom. I hope she doesn't kill me. Mommy, don't kill me. But I think my mom is like, her purpose was like to be a mom. Like she is a really, really good mom. Like phenomenal mom, right?
Yeah.
But it's just like, I be looking at her sometimes like, stuff, we don't always click on things, but we're mother and daughter, but she still helped me in aligning with my purpose, even in that relationship. So I would just only imagine that in a romantic relationship, it would be the same thing. Like that everybody that God brings into your life is there for a reason, to teach you something, for a lesson. You gotta flow with it.
You know, that's the thing. I mean, all of these relationships, I found, we've heard this for ages. Relationships are either for a reason, a season, or a lifetime.
Right.
And what gives me, like, really, it relaxes me is that knowing, like, based on scripture, like Romans 8:28 tells us that, you know, all things work together. So
Yeah.
even if I'm in this relationship and it comes to an end, there was something that was there for me to make me better and help me develop into
Right.
the person that God designed me to be. So it's really no losses,
Right.
you know?
That is very true.
Yeah.
I really like that. What do you think, T?
I think that's good. And I do like that you bring up the fact that all things do work together, because I think we put a lot of emphasis on trying to make things work with one person all the time. And I think that's what has us always asking the question of, is there just one special person for us? Because we try so hard to make it work with difficult people. You know what I mean? I think it becomes a less hard of a question when it just makes sense for that person to be your person.
Yeah.
Because you can see what's special, you can see what's unique, and you can see what makes it work. But if you're trying to mold or affix someone to your life, then that's not the part of all things working together for good that they were talking about in the Bible. The all things working together is whether or not you are with this person, things are going to still work out for you personally.
Yeah.
So be okay with the fact that this person might be special to you in this season, but that might not be the person for your life, you know?
That was so well said.
That's good. That's good. I'll
Yeah.
insert the caveat that this is for those that love God and are called according to his purpose. Listen, we're going to have much more on this very didactic conversation right after these messages. Don't go anywhere.
Dude, I thought you were driving.
I thought you were driving.
Oh, I never said I was driving.
I definitely can't drive.
If you're high, just don't drive. It's illegal everywhere. If you feel different, you drive different.
Nothing is off limits. Nothing. You can ask me anything.
Who is Rufus? Who is that voice? Who is in the body of Rufus?
Are you kidding me, or do I have to give that up? Rufus is me and Cardi. Cardi sometimes me. But we are the voice of Rufus. And he's coming back. He's coming back with a vengeance. He's coming back.
Stay tuned.
Don't go nowhere.
Yes.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Single in the City. I'm your host, Genesis Moore, with my phenomenal co-hosts, Justin Gilbert and Miss Tiara Berry.
Hey, y'all.
So, guys, all right, I went on a trip a couple weeks ago, right?
Uh-huh.
And you know how they got the little movies and stuff that you could watch on there?
Yes.
So I watched this movie called How to Be Single. And it was really, really good to me because I was just like, I guess I never really stopped to think, like, is there a step-by-step process to being single? I guess I did, but then I never really thought about, like, how it plays into your everyday life.
Right.
So I went on and kind of took some tips from there, but I wanted to ask you guys, like, how do you be single? For those of us outside.
How do we navigate being single, and what is the purpose of it all, really? Like that's kind of what I hear when I hear you saying that. And I don't have an answer. What do you think, Tiara?
What do I think? Right. Well, where's my answer? What is the purpose? What's it like being single? I think it's just about how we look at being single. Is being single a bad thing? Ooh. Is it a good thing? Is it just a state? You know, I think that so often it's just a status, but we put feelings and emotion into a status, and it's just, you're either single or you're either with someone or you're not. Now, how you feel about that, that's emotion. But the reality is that, yes, you are single at this very moment. But it's up to you to see that as a good thing or a bad thing. So I think the purpose of it is for you to focus on yourself and focus on your relationship with God, focus on your life and where you're going and all of those feel-good things that we say to ourselves when we pep talk in the morning.
Yeah. Self-care.
Yes, this is the self-care aspect of it. And I think being single is a good thing for the season that you're single, if you're not lonely. If you actually do take the time to focus on yourself and your relationship. And again, that self-care aspect. What do you guys think?
That's very good. I was kind of thinking about how most of the things I've read in the Bible, when it talks about being single or married, there's a great deal of emphasis put on like the sexual purity parts of it. Even in like 1 Corinthians 7 and 9, it talks about if they cannot exercise self-control, then it's better for them to marry than to burn. You know what I'm saying? With passion. So that just doesn't seem like a good reason to get married to me, to be completely honest.
I think it's
just
complicated.
For sex. But
It's complicated for sure.
You know, I definitely understand that purity and, you know, being single does have its benefits because you're then able to focus more on your assignment, like spiritually and like things of God, without having to prioritize your family that way. So that lends you more time, you know, that's more opportunities for evangelism. There's more resources to allocate towards the things of God and faith, and that even avails you to do missionary work because it's kind of you know, you don't have to worry about your family back home. So I don't know. I think that may be the purpose in terms of what the Bible says. I'm still navigating being single and discovering how that all fits in my world, just to
Right.
be completely honest. So.
Yeah. I think we all are.
Yeah.
I mean, because I know for me, even being single, what I've been learning, right, or I've been trying to learn is being single is like laying the foundation, right? So you got to have a foundation before you kind of like go into something else with building something with somebody, right? I think it works better if it's like, I got my foundation, he has his foundation, and then we come together, and then it's like, then we build a mansion, you know? We just put the foundations together type thing. But if you don't know yourself,
Right.
then you can't
can't.
properly, and I've been in that situation where I probably didn't know myself as well and didn't take time to really dive deep into learning myself,
Right.
and then got into a situation and was very easily manipulated and like gullible or something, you know? And so then it's like everything that this person likes, I like now, but is that what I really like? Well, I don't know, because I never really spent time with myself to figure out if that's something that I liked. So I look at it more of a, like your personal learning experience with yourself and with God, with your creator. Like this is just like, I'm looking at my singleness as I've never felt so fearless and ambitious and like free
Right.
in my entire life than
Yes.
how I feel now in this stage of singleness. And
Yeah.
I think we sometimes, you guys tell me, people look at it almost like you're on the shelf when you're single. And then when you get in a relationship,
Yeah.
like somebody, pulls you down and they take you.
I'm glad you brought that up because I
Interesting.
think being single is very gendered too.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like I feel
gonna
like
say
when
that.
women are single, I'm glad that you talk about now it's the opportunity to be fearless and be,
Yeah.
bold and be productive and ambitious, because those aren't things that I think women used to feel like when they were single. A lot of women who were single felt like, well, am I gonna get married? Am I gonna have children? Who am I gonna be with? Am I gonna do this? And that's not something I saw traditionally men grapple with. They
Yeah.
always felt like when you were ready, then you would be like, all right, that one.
You, today, now.
Come, I'm gonna take you off the shelf,
What's your name?
and that was it. So I think that being single, and we've had conversations before about what it means to be available and that men have more choices than women.
Yeah.
So I think that from a negativity standpoint, women saw being single as a bad thing.
Yeah.
And men saw being single as just what it was at the moment. But you could always get into a situation.
But think about that though. Don't your mama and your grandma ask you questions like,
Girl.
you still don't have nobody, you still ain't bring nobody to Thanksgiving this year. Nobody's coming for Christmas. So I think it is a certain stigma and pressure.
Yes.
Especially when it comes to age, with women.
Okay.
But we have, as a society, I agree, been
Right.
taught, like for women, you sit back, you have to wait to get chose. And
The
so when
purpose
you're
of being
single, you're waiting to be chose.
The purpose of being single for a woman is to wait.
To
a
be
man.
on hold.
Yeah, that's the purpose.
Like pause, you sit there until
And the
somebody
purpose
decides.
for a man being single is he has to center, he has to find himself, he has to get ready, prepare for a wife, and then
Or my favorite.
Yeah.
Sow his wild oats.
Yeah.
Isn't that horrible?
Wait, then that's from a movie or something?
It is. I mean, they said it. I didn't make it up. Somebody else made that up. That wasn't me.
Very interesting.
We loaded you down. What you
I mean,
thinking?
you really
Justin?
think men have more choices than women when there's like a significant number of available men that are being overlooked based on maybe not having certain things status-wise or swag-wise and some other things that women want to be involved with these days? You really think it's that simple? Because I can guarantee you, there are thousands
much to
upon
say.
thousands of eligible bachelors that will get overlooked if you stand them up in front of a group of single women because they don't necessarily fit the bill. You know what I'm saying? Like
I think it depends on what we're going for. I think it depends on what the woman is going for. I think it also depends on what the guys are going for. I think there needs to be some alignment on expectations.
Everybody's swimming in the same
Right.
pond. Not even the ocean. Not even the sea. In the same puddle. Right? Everybody's in the same puddle.
Listen, this is listen. Before y'all cap me to death up here, because y'all gonna say, you know what I'm saying? Y'all real quiet right now, sitting up here looking like some fried pies, not saying much. But y'all know that everyone knows that women keep a dude in the chamber. Let's be honest about this. Y'all keep several dudes that are interested in weight and call them friends or whatever. No?
I don't do that.
Not at all? Okay.
I think we all have friends. I think it's great to have friends.
I think Sierra's better at this than me.
I think it's good to have friends. I think we all should have friends. When we're single, of course, please, by all means, have friends. That's what being single is about.
I
right?
agree.
Purpose of being single is for you to focus on yourself and sometimes your friends. And God, of course.
Yes.
God.
I don't think I'm not that great at multitasking. So it's like, for me, if I'm with you, I'm with you. If I'm not, I'm not. And I'll make it apparent. Because I just don't believe in, having people around and then they thinking that it might be
more than what
something
it is,
different.
yeah.
And then
I'm
like,
bad at that, I'll be honest.
Yeah, I'll tell them like,
You gotta
this
block
ain't
people.
that.
I had to block some people on Valentine's Day.
That's crazy
I
how that happens.
I had no one to block.
Because you need your friends. Get your friends.
I gotta get more friends.
Yes, get your friends.
Lord. I think it's easier to make those lines of demarcation very apparent for the males that you're less attracted to. But that's another story for another day.
He gonna find a way to get his point across and make it seem like men is the saints around here and we just some crazy women at the table.
Halos.
But thank you guys for tuning in. We'll be right back.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. Remember the best planned 90 minutes of your life? Or that surprise party for your parents' golden anniversary? You get the golden planning. The same way you plan each detail for those moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made her college years happen. Opening that education savings account when she was little. Spearheading a campus tour. And another, and another, and another, and another. Bam! Deciphering financial aid. She was like, what? Well, now she's like, you aced planning for college. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
You and I have been talking about womanism. And so somebody in our audience may be saying, what is that? So could you give us a quick and dirty definition of womanism?
Basically, womanism is the intersection of a liberation theology, intersection of Black theology and feminist theology, where Black women were left out. It is a way that we look at the world and we fight for Black people, for all people, and we elevate Black women, whether it's theological, literary, but it's really about Black women being free to be Black women and fighting for the community.
Welcome back to Single in the City. I am your host, Justin Gilbert, joined by the beautiful and brilliant Miss Tiara Berry and Genesis Moore. Listen, we're having quite a discussion today about single life and how to do it well. How to navigate this thing.
It's a lot.
And now I'm just kind of at a point where I think I'd like to know what you ladies are learning most. What are you learning from being single?
I'm learning a lot about myself.
Okay.
I'm learning a lot about life being bigger than being just in a relationship or being single. I'm learning about spicy foods and different cuisines and,
Come on.
what I like to taste and the texture of chicken when it's dry or, I'm learning a lot. And I think you do learn and pick up on things a little bit more when you're single. I don't know if that's just because I'm bored, but I think I'm just open to exploring more. I want to go places, see things, spend time with family, get closer to the people that I'm already in network with. And that's what I've been leaning on while being single, because sometimes when you are in a relationship or just dealing with the significant other, that person becomes the focal of your world and everything else revolves around that. But when you really have to build a life around what revolves around what you have going on, there's so much to do, there's so much to explore. So I think it's an opportunity.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I agree with
You're
that.
doing so good.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay. I've been learning how to upgrade the standards in my life all around.
Okay.
Right? Like, what are my standards when it comes to how I like to eat, how I like to look, how I like to dress, where I like to shop, what I like, what makes me happy as far as activities and stuff are concerned. And then also balance. Like, I'm learning a lot about how to balance work and then friends and then play, and how to really budget my time and my money, which is really important. And I think really one of the larger things I'm learning is how to be a good or a better friend.
Yeah.
How to be a better daughter, stuff like that. Like, for example, maybe when I'm in a relationship, I'm not as attentive to my friends, as
We all
I
been there.
would be if I were single, but understanding what's going on in their life, how to give them space, what they like, what they don't like, how to show them that I love them and appreciate them. And so it's been an all around life learning upgrade for me.
It's a journey.
So it's an upgrade.
That's so good. Like, when we were talking about balance, that hit for me. I know in this season for me, I've been really exploring that balance, getting better at balancing things, because I've had a tendency to be a workaholic. But actually carving out time, self-care days, and just actually having time to reset. Also, learning to enjoy myself, literally have a great time by myself.
Yeah.
Yes.
Going certain places, eating certain food, certain activities, and so much more. Like, this has been an amazing time, and it made me, this season of being single, I guess I've been out of a relationship for I'm coming up on a year now. So I've really embraced being single in a special way that I think could only make me better if I decide to, get into something else serious again. Like,
I'm glad.
I'm whole.
That's good.
That sounds good. And that's good for our next Q&A question that we have coming up. We have Henry from Orlando, y'all, wants to know, do you think it's wise to perform spouse-like duties before you're married?
Justin?
You don't want to talk about you was out of a relationship, now you think about going back
Justin?
in, so what you doing different?
That's good. What's up, Henry? First of all, thank you for your question.
Henry.
Thanks, Henry.
I think that when a man finds a wife, he finds a good thing. I often kind of wrestle with the idea of finding a wife is finding a woman who takes ownership over certain things and certain elements of your life and comes in and provides help and assistance in ways that you wouldn't experience if she weren't in your life. I often wonder if that's what that scripture's talking about, like actually encountering a woman and she just takes that ownership. Or is it something where, is it a situation where a woman feels like she has to be activated, like she's not gonna do it unless you make her your wife? And I think one, even though both are, kind of rare, I think one of those is a misnomer that we need to challenge. Because I think that a lot of women are waiting for this button to be pushed. But it's like, if you're not compelled to do certain things for a man, him raising the stakes isn't going to make you be more compelled. So,
Well, a woman might argue that if she does those things and you still don't marry her, what was the point of doing that? Did she oversell herself and not get, you know, the end of the bargain she was looking for?
well, if she showed up authentically, she lost nothing.
Genesis? Because she made a face, y'all, like,
What you saying?
Well, so I do, I see both sides. And I
Okay.
guess the short answer would be, I do agree if you do, I don't believe in doing things for someone without, with a, what is it? Like a stipulation or
Right.
like you
Yeah.
have to do this for me.
ulterior
Or,
motive type of thing.
yeah, like if I do it, I'm gonna do it with a cheerful heart, you know,
Come
a
on.
cheerful
Right.
good
Come
heart,
on.
you know? So I'm not expecting anything in return. But I do think as a woman specifically, you know the type of man that can handle that and the type that can't. And it's
and you
all
know a
about,
manipulator when you see one.
Yep, and it's all about really what are you listening to? So a man will tell you what he wants, you know, in my opinion, in my experience,
Yeah.
I'll say. He'll tell you what he wants. He'll tell you exactly how he wants it, but he means it just like that. Now, whether you choose to believe that or not is different. If you choose to try to force someone based off of your actions to view you in a different light and make you want something different, then yeah, you are gonna feel like you lost something. But if, you know, I know who to do certain things for and who not to do certain things for.
Right,
And then
right.
I have a threshold even for that. Like that, it's just boundaries, you know? Like I might wash the dishes, but I'm not coming over your house and washing clothes. We're not gonna live together. Like that's like a thing for me. I'm not gonna live with you before we're married, you know, and you feel like you're getting all that. So I think it just depends on how far you're willing to go.
Yeah.
And what you're going for.
Is that not adding value though to wash a man's clothes at his house? Is that not of a significant help?
So when you see a woman come over and wash your clothes, that makes you feel like, you know what, she might be my wife.
You know what? It definitely it lifts a burden and it frees me up to, you know what I'm saying, maybe do something else. And I appreciate it. And if she's inclined to do that, I'm definitely never gonna stop her. And I think it only adds to her value. Like it's like, oh, okay, well, you thought to do that? Like that's really sweet. As opposed to saying, you know, I'm not gonna do that until we're in this space. But what if you go to her house and clothes don't be washed at her house? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, who's
Yeah.
to say
Yeah.
if this is gonna really be beneficial to that man long term? Like, and you know, is he finding a wife and finding a woman that sets boundaries like this? I don't know.
I do feel like dating, and when you're dating someone seriously, it is kind of like an insert, almost like a peekaboo, like, what would my life be like with this person?
Yeah.
You know, like,
That's a good way to look at it.
yeah, you know, like, it's okay, this person washes clothes, they wash dishes, they like to clean up and things like that. You know, or even if they don't like to, they do it. Because I'll be honest and be like, my mama she was really hard on us about cleaning, so I don't really like to clean like that because it has to be done a certain way, and it gives me like paranoia.
Yeah.
But I do it, and I do it well because of that, you know? But at the same time, I do think it has to be both ways. So it's like, you know, like Justin using that example, if I'm coming over and I'm washing clothes, right, then I must not be going to get no oil changes by myself. Like, you gonna do that for me, right?
I don't see why I wouldn't have a problem doing
Like,
that.
you gonna make sure my car is washed.
Right.
You
No.
gonna, you know, like, so, but certain things, like if we're going
So-
down that road.
So what I want to know though,
Uh-huh.
besides sex, what do you get when you're married?
Well,
Wow.
I would hope a great deal of companionship, support, and partnership, and all of these other things, all of those things that those vows speak of.
Right. But are we getting that when we're just dating? So I just want to know, like, if we're doing all of the things that's wifely or husbandly while we're dating or in a relationship, besides sex and in the sight of God and taking vows in front of all those that you love, what's the point of getting married?
I have my ideas on it. Financially, there's a huge difference, especially when you talk about merging lifestyles. And I think the difference between a peekaboo and a merge is very different. That's how I view dating versus marriage. You know, like peekaboo, this is this person's habits. This is how they are. This is the way they, like, this is their type of lifestyle. This is what they're expecting. Can I see myself fitting in the middle of that?
Right.
Makes
Right?
sense.
That's the overarching question. When I say yes, we're getting married, right? We're getting married, that means that our lifestyles now, we're combining lifestyles. And that comes, like I said, with finances. It comes with, yeah, okay, well, maybe you with somebody and you realize, like, you're better at clothes than me, but I'm better at dishes. You know, then there come those compromising things of how you run your household, those sort of conversations. But I think I'm not a person where I don't like to be pigeonholed to certain chores and duties when it comes to, especially household things, because I'm a woman. So I would have to have somebody that kind of understood that, you know, we're either in this together, you know, because I don't like feeling like it's all on me, you know? Like, we're either in this together or we hiring somebody.
Okay. Right, we're creating another expense. But that's...
I mean, hey, based on what you like to do. You don't like
It's
to
very
wash
true.
clothes, you got to pay for it. You going to pay for it one way
Or the
or
other.
the other.
another.
Very true, very true. You know, when you were making your last point, Genesis, it made me, well, your second to last point, it made me think about the economy of relationships and how there's no successful account where an individual is making more withdrawals than deposits.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, that just hit me.
That's good. You have to be pouring into each other. As much as you
Absolutely.
take from each other, you have to give even more than that.
Absolutely.
Mutually.
Absolutely.
I agree. Well, everybody, look, it looks like that's our time, guys.
Oh, wow.
We've gotten into a lot of really good things in
talked
this.
about a lot.
How to be single. So for everybody at home, look, being single does not mean that you have to be lonely. And yes, we are saying that you should be focusing on yourself, but more importantly, your relationship with God.
Amen.
Because your relationship with God is going to take you to every other relationship that you'll have in your life. All right? And until next time, have a great night. This is Single in the City. We'll see you next week.
You're my lucky strike. Love the way you ride. Look into my eyes, say you're ready to go. $1 million life, yeah. We could roll the dice. Act like you surprised, but you already know that you're my lucky strike.